I never thought I'd end up in handcuffs on my own front porch because some busybody couldn't handle a kid's birthday banner. But that's exactly what happened when Karen Hargrove, self-appointed CEO of Willow Creek Estates, HOA, decided my family's quiet life was her personal vendetta. In one fell swoop, she weaponized the badge like it was her Birkin bag, sirens blaring down our cul-de-sac over a goddamn inflatable unicorn that violated color codes. And get this, our house isn't even in her precious gated fiefdom. What she didn't count on was me, a single dad fresh off a divorce, with nothing left to lose, and a lawyer buddy who smells blood in the water from a mile away. By dawn, her empire of nosy bylaws was crumbling faster than her third chin under that fluorescent cop light. It started innocently enough, or at least as innocent as suburbia gets in Plano, Texas, that sprawling Dallas exurb where everyone drives a Ford F-150 and dreams of escaping the city without losing the Starbucks run. I bought the old Craftsman bungalow on Elmwood Drive 5 years back, right after Sarah left me for her yoga instructor and took half the savings with her downward dog. The place was a steal, creaky oak floors, a backyard big enough for barbecues, and zero HOA strings attached because it sat just outside the Willow Creek boundary line. A quirky zoning fluke from the 80s that left my lot in no man's land between the association's pristine lawns and the wilder, unincorporated edge of town. No monthly fees, no architectural reviews, just me and my 8-year-old son, Jake, figuring out fatherhood one Lego catastrophe at a time. Jake's birthday fell on a Saturday that June, the kind of scorcher where the humidity clings like regret. I'd promised him a party, nothing fancy, just hot dogs, a slip-in slide, and that gaudy unicorn float from Party City because, hell, the kid deserved some magic after the year we'd had. I strung up the banner across the front porch. Happy 8th birthday, Jake. Unicorns and adventure await, in neon pink and blue, helium balloons bobbing like they own the breeze. Neighbors waved as they jogged by. Old Mr. Patel from next door even stopped to chat about cricket scores, his accent thick as the air. Life felt normal, almost good. Then she appeared. Karen Hargrove, Queen Bee of Willow Creek, rolled up in her gleaming white Escalade around noon, windows down, blasting some NPR podcast on passive-aggressive parenting. I'd seen her before, waddling through the neighborhood like she was inspecting troops, clipboard in hand, barking orders at lawn guys who dared leave a clipping out of place. At 5 feet 4 inches and easily 250 pounds, she moved with the deliberate heft of someone who believed her size commanded respect, her face a perpetual mask of pinched disapproval under a helmet of peroxide blonde curls. Rumors swirled. Ex-pharma exec turned full-time enforcer, divorced twice, kids grown and estranged, channeling all that pin-up control into the HOA board where she clawed her way to president, though everyone whispered CO behind her back, like she was running ExxonMobil instead of covenant violations. She parked crooked across my driveway, blocking Jake's friends from arriving, and heaved herself out with a huff that fogged the windshield. "Excuse me," she bellowed before her feet even hit pavement, marching up like she owned the deed. I was flipping burgers on the portable grill, apron smeared with grease, when she thrust a laminated notice under my nose, some boilerplate courtesy violation alert, with her signature scrawled in looping cursive. "This abomination," she spat, jabbing a sausage-link finger at the banner, "is a blatant eyesore. Willow Creek standards demand neutral palettes, beige, taupe, forest green. No garish primaries that clash with the aesthetic harmony. Take it down immediately, or I'll have no choice but to escalate." I wiped my hands on a towel, forcing a smile, because Jake was peeking from the screen door, eyes wide. "Ma'am, appreciate the concern, but we're not in the HOA. This lot's unincorporated. Checked with the county when I bought it. Banner's coming down after the party's over anyway. Kids, you know." Her eyes narrowed to slits, that double chin quivering like Jell-O in an earthquake. "Unincorporated? Oh, honey, that's rich. Every house on this block falls under our umbrella. It's implied jurisdiction. I've got bylaws thicker than your conscience, and they say community standards apply universally. One call to code enforcement, and you'll be fined in the next fiscal quarter." I chuckled, low and disbelieving, because this was peak Karen, turning a kid's party into Nuremberg. "Look, Karen Hargrove, right? Board president? Let's not ruin the day. Grab a hot dog if you want. They're all beef. The offer hung there. A piece olive branch she promptly snapped. Her face flushed beet red, veins popping in her neck like overfilled sausages. How dare you patronize me? I am the CEO of this association, steward of 247 properties, and you think you can flout the rules because you're some outsider squatting on the fringe. She yanked out her phone, thumb jabbing the screen with manic fury. I'm calling the authorities. This is trespass against visual tranquility, a public nuisance. Jake tugged my pant leg. Dad, is she mad at the unicorn? She's allergic to fun, buddy, I muttered, scooping him up as sirens wailed in the distance. Not even 10 minutes later. 2 Plano PD cruisers screeched up, lights flashing like a bad cop show, neighbors gawking from behind curtains. Officer Ramirez, a guy I'd shot the breeze with at the gas station, stepped out looking sheepish, his partner, a rookie with a buzz cut, scanning the scene like we were holed up with hostages. Mr. Ellis? Ramirez said, holstering his radio. Got a call about a disturbance. HO, a rep claims you're violating ordinances, possible endangerment to minors with. Inflatable hazards. I pointed at the deflated slip, end slide coiled like a snake in the yard. Endangerment? It's a birthday party, man. Kid's turning 8. And we're not even in the HOA. Here's the deed. I fished my phone from my pocket, pulling up the county records app, the zoning map glowing clear as day. My parcel in gray limbo, Willow Creek's bubble stopping a good 10 feet short. Karen, emboldened by backup, puffed up beside the cops. Officers, this man's erected unauthorized structures. That banner's a fire hazard. Those balloons could choke a child. I've documented it all. My board will press charges for willful defiance. Ramirez squinted at my screen, then hers, her iPad crammed with screenshots, annotated like a prosecutor's brief. The rookie shifted uncomfortably as kids piled out of minivans, staring at the circus. Ma'am, Ramirez finally drawled, Texas slow. Appears Mr. Ellis is correct. No jurisdiction here. You might want to verify boundaries before dispatching us for party decorations. Her jaw unhinged, a strangled yelp escaping as she clutched her pearls. Actual pearls, the kind that scream old money pretensions. This is outrageous. I've sunk thousands into legal consultations. We own this aesthetic. Arrest him for obstruction. He's mocking authority. The rookie snorted, barely stifling it, and Ramirez just shook his head, tipping his hat to me. Enjoy the party, Ellis. Sorry for the interruption. They peeled out, leaving Karen rooted like a furious oak, her Escalade still cock-blocking my driveway. You'll regret this, she hissed, venom dripping. I'll bury you in paperwork. Subpoenas, liens, you'll wish you joined when you had the chance. She stormed off, tires squealing as she reversed into a mailbox. Irony not lost on the gathering crowd. That night, after Jay crashed from Sugar High, I poured a bourbon neat and scrolled her LinkedIn. Yeah, she styled herself CEO, Willow Creek, HO Incorporated like it was Fortune 500. Bio full of buzzwords. Visionary leader fostering synergistic communities through stringent governance. Comments from sycophants, but dig deeper. Glassdoor-style reviews on neighborhood forums painted her as a tyrant. Fines for bird feeders, evictions over holiday lights. One widow claiming Karen drove her to sell after a fence variance battle. Betrayal burns slow. See, I've been the nice guy too long, bending for Sarah's moods, swallowing Jake's school fees without a peep. But this? Calling cops on a father and son? It cracks something primal. By midnight, I texted my old college roommate, Derek, now a civil litigator in Dallas with a grudge against petty power plays. Hypothetical, I typed. HOA busybody false police report. Retaliation options. His reply pinged at 1 a.m. Not hypothetical. Defamation. Abuse of process. Malicious prosecution. Plus, if she's incorporated the HOA wrong, boom, pierce the veil. Sendocs. We sue for everything. Emotional distress. Punitive. Make her bleed. Part 1 of the war was on. I didn't know it'd spiral into her unraveling, but damn if it didn't feel righteous. The fallout hit like a Texas twister the next morning. Jake was at soccer camp, leaving me to nurse coffee and comb city ordinances on my laptop, the banner sagging like a hangover in the breeze. First came the emails, a barrage from Willow Creek Compliance at hoexsec.com, CCNG, the whole board, urgent, non-compliant property threatening community integrity. Attached PDFs of aerial surveys, drone shots, probably zooming on my unicorn like it was a cartel stash. Karen's name stamped everywhere, her rhetoric escalating. This flagrant disregard endangers property values and invites chaos. Recommend immediate embargo on all adjacent sales until rectified. I forwarded it all to Derek, who laughed via Zoom, his tie loosened like a noose. Goldmine, bro. She's admitting overreach. That implied jurisdiction BS? Courts hate that. File a cease and desist today. I'll draft. Oh, and check her filings. HOAs are nonprofits, but if she's pocketing dues for consulting, that's fraud. Curious, I dove into public records. Turns out Willow Creek Incorporated was her baby. Incorporated in 15 as a 501c4, but the IRS forms? Sloppy. Management fees to Hargrove Consulting. Her side gig, totaling $80,000 last year on $200,000 dues. Board minutes, leaked on a Reddit thread r/HOA hell, showed her steamrolling votes, all in favor of fining the Thompsons for unapproved poinsettias. I from the CEO. By afternoon, the neighborhood app, that curse next door, exploded. Anonymous posts. Anyone else get the Karengram about Elmwood? Cops over a birthday? Boycott HOA. Likes poured in. Memes of unicorns in cop cars. Karen fired back under her verified profile. Misinformation campaign by a disgruntled resident. Standards protect US all. Report violations to me directly. Directly? Oh, I did. CCNG the board, county attorney, and a local news tip line. False police report filed maliciously. Request investigation into HOA overreach and potential embezzlement. Derek C&D attached, polite but lethal. Cease all harassment or face litigation seeking $500,000 plus in damages. Her response? A voicemail at 6 p.m., voice syrupy with suppressed rage. Mr. Ellis, let's chat woman to man. This escalation serves no one. Join the HOA, prorated dues, waive fines, and we forget this unpleasantness. I have connections. Could make your life easier. I played it for Derek. Extortion light, he grinned. Add it to the pile. But the real backlash brewed in the cul-de-sac. Mr. Patel hosted an impromptu barbecue, Solidarity Grill Out, inviting everyone outside the gates. 20 folks showed. The Thompsons with their poinsettias, the widow Jenkins who'd sold under duress. Stories tumbled like dominoes. Karen's midnight inspections, $500 fines for excessive laughter at pool parties, her Escalade idling outside homes during arguments. One guy, a burly mechanic named Raul, claimed she'd reported his truck as abandoned just for parking in his own driveway. She's a bully with a badge, Raul growled, cracking a Lone Star. Tommy pushed back. By dusk, petitions circulated, dissolve Willow Creek Board, recall Karen Hargrove. Signatures hit 50 overnight. Local Fox affiliate picked it up. HOA horror. Cop call over kids' party? Interviewing me on the porch, Jake waving a half-deflated balloon. Karen declined comment, but her silhouette loomed in a neighbor's window, curtains twitching. She struck next to Dawn, 2 weeks in. A certified letter from her attorney, some bottom feeder from a strip mall firm, demanding $10,000 reparations for emotional duress caused by your inflammatory banner. Counterclaim threat if unpaid in 48 hours. Derek shredded it laughing. Frivolous. Our suit drops Monday. Defamation per se. IED, the works. Discovery? We'll subpoena her emails, bank records. Bet that CEO salary's a slush fund. The filing hit Collin County Clerk's office at 9 a.m. sharp. By noon, it trended on Plano Patch. Lawsuit alleges HOA abused power, embezzled funds. Reporters swarmed Willow Creek gates. Mike's thrust at flustered board members. Karen's house, a McMansion with Doric columns, became ground zero, news vans idling like vultures. She called an emergency board meeting that night, live-streamed on the HOA portal for transparency. I tuned in anonymously, VPN'd through Jake's iPad. There she was, wedged into a leather chair, sweat beading on her upper lip, defending like a cornered cat. This is a witch hunt. That man, Ellis, is a liar, stirring dissent for personal gain. Our finances are impeccable. I volunteered unpaid for years. Volunteered? The chat exploded. Unpaid? Where's the $80,000 then? Recall Vote Now. Donations poured into a GoFundMe for my legal fees. $15,000 in 24 hours, strangers chipping in with notes like "screw the Karens." Her panic showed in cracks. Next morning, flowers arrived, 24 roses, card reading truce. KH. I donated them to the hospital, posting the pic online. Allergies. Anyone need a boost? The outrage snowballed. A state rep, lobbied by the petition, announced hearings on HOA overreach. No more petty tyrants terrorizing families. Karen's LinkedIn went dark. Her podcast episodes yanked for hate speech flags after old clip surfaced, railing against lazy millennials ruining curb appeal. But the bitter twist? It was her board that turned first. Leaked minutes from that meeting. 4-3 vote to suspend her pending audit. The treasurer, a mousy accountant named Bev, confessed in a sworn affy to Derek. She's been siphoning for Botox, cruises. We cover because, well, she's scary. But the cops thing? That's the line. By month's end, the audit dropped. $120,000 unaccounted, funneled to Hargrove Consulting for branding services that smelled like shell games. Feds got involved. IRS audit loomed. Karen's empire? Dust. I watched from my porch as U-Haul backed in her driveway, boxes stacked like fallen idols. She emerged, luggage in tow, avoiding eyes, headed for sisters in Houston, whispers said, tail between legs. No goodbye wave, just the slam of a screen door echoing her defeat. Jake asked once, "What happened to the mean lady, Dad?" Grew a conscience, I guess. Or ran out of ammo. We hung a new banner for Halloween. Ghosts and pumpkins. No colors restricted. Cops waved driving by. Neighbors toasting over fences. Revenge? Sweeter than bourbon. But the scar? It lingers. Trust in white picket fences forever tarnished. Yet in that tarnish, freedom gleamed. Suburbia, for once, felt like home. The quiet after Karen's exodus was deceptive, like the hush before a summer storm in North Texas. All blue skies and cicada hum. But you could feel the charge building. It had been 6 weeks since the lawsuit filing, for since her board ousted her in a closed-door coup that made front-page local news. HOA heiress ousted amid embezzlement claims. The Dallas Morning News blared, complete with a pixelated mug of her glowering at the camera during a deposition. Derek had negotiated a settlement by then. $250,000 wired to my account. No admission of guilt, but a gag order on her bad-mouthing me, plus a public apology letter posted on every lamppost in Willow Creek. I regret any overzealous enforcement that caused distress. Jake framed a copy in his room, right next to his soccer trophies. Trophy for beating the dragon lady, he declared, and I didn't correct him. Dragons deserve slaying. Life normalized, or tried to. I picked up extra shifts at the auto shop, specializing in EV conversions now, as Plano went greenish, and Jake aced his multiplication tables, earning ice cream bribes. The neighborhood healed too. Potlucks, sans inspections, kids biking without fear of speed citations. Even the Thompsons replanted their poinsettias, defiant reds blooming like middle fingers to the old regime. But Karens don't vanish, they metastasize. Hers resurfaced in whispers first. A burner account on Nextdoor, concerned resident 47, posting veil jabs. Some folks think they're above the law just because they dodged dues. Watch your backs, Willow Creek. Anarchy breeds vermin. Likes trickled from her loyalists, a splinter faction of retirees who'd drunk the Kool-Aid on her vision. Derek warned me over beers at the local dive, the Rusty Spur, where the jukebox spun George Strait and nachos ran $8 a platter. She's lawyered up now, real firm, not the strip mall hack, filing countersuits, claiming you orchestrated a smear campaign, subpoenaed your emails, Jake's school records even. Wants to paint you as unstable, unfit dad. Unfit. The word hit like a lug nut to the gut. Sarah had lobbed that grenade in our divorce, but I'd one primary custody clean. Still, doubt crept. Was I dragging Jake into my grudge? Nights, I'd pace the creaky floors, bourbon-whispering temptations to let it go and move on. No dice. Pride's a hell of a drug in Texas, where grudges simmer like brisket low and slow. I doubled down, tipping off the reporter who'd broken the story. Follow the money, I said off record. Her sister's place in Houston? Check property transfers. It panned out. A quitclaim deed, Karen dumping her McMansion equity into a consulting partnership with kin, dodging creditors. The feds smelled tax evasion. Her name hit a watch list. Publicly, she pivoted, launching a blog, empowered enforcers, defending suburban sanity, ranting about woke zoning and entitled outsiders. Subscribers? A dozen at most, but venom enough to stir her hive. The real sting came at Jake's school open house. I arrived early, khakis pressed, ready to schmooze teachers on his reading progress. There, in the multipurpose room, amid folding tables of construction paper art, stood Karen, not in exile, but volunteering as community liaison, her bulk squeezed into a PDA polo, name tag pinned crooked. She'd weaseled in through Houston connections, apparently, commuting weekly to rehabilitate her image. Our eyes locked across the room like gunfighters at high noon. She smiled, teeth bared, predatory, and waddled over, clipboard clutched like a shield. Mr. Ellis, fancy seeing you here. Jake's such a spirited boy. Heard about the little legal dust-up? Water under the bridge, right? For the kid's sake. The hypocrisy curdled my stomach. This woman, who'd sicked cops on his birthday, now cooing over finger paints? Teachers milled nearby, oblivious. Parents chatted, cliques forming like oil slicks. I kept my voice level, Jake's drawing of a unicorn knight clutched in my fist. Bridge? You burned it, Karen. Stay away from my son. Her laugh tinkled false, drawing glances. Oh, posh. I'm here for unity. Besides, word is you're behind the petition to disband us entirely. 150 signatures now. Petty. Willow Creek needs strong leadership, not your vigilante chaos. Vigilante? That lit the fuse. Strong? You mean bullying. Finding widows, calling SWAT on balloons. Your leadership got audited because you couldn't keep sticky fingers off the cookie jar. Heads turned. A mom with a toddler on hip paused mid-sip from her styrofoam. Karen's facade cracked, flush creeping up her neck. Lies. Slanderous drivel from a deadbeat, dodging responsibilities. Everyone knows your ex left because you couldn't hack it, now poisoning the community against progress. Deadbeat. The word echoed Sarah's courtroom whispers, twisting the knife. But this was public, witnesses. I leaned in, voice a gravel whisper. Progress? Like embezzling for your progressive facelifts? Or false reports that could have traumatized my kid? Touch him, mention him, and the gag orders the least of your worries. Derek's got your emails, the ones calling me a cancer on the cul-de-sac. Perjury's a felony, sweetheart. She blanched, clipboard trembling, but rallied with a stage whisper. Threats now? In front of educators? I'll have you removed, security. No dice. Principal Vargas, a no-nonsense Latina with a stare like a cattle prod, materialized. Everything all right here? Her eyes flicked between us, clocking the tension. Karen pounced. This man's harassing me, volatile, unhinged, for the safety of our children. Vargas held up a hand. Ms. Hargrove, your enthusiasm is noted, but Mr. Ellis is a valued parent. Let's keep it civil, or I'll ask you to step out. She turned to me, softer. Jake's artwork is lovely, by the way. Keep fighting the good fight. Karen deflated, muttering about bias as she retreated to the snack table, piling a plate with mini quiches like armor. I exhaled, heart hammering, and found Jake in the library corner, buried in a Captain Underpants tome. Dad, you see my dragon? It's got lasers. Laser dragons rule, I said, ruffling his hair. But inside, the war drums beat louder. She crossed into my sanctum, school, kids. No more kid gloves. That night, Derek and I strategized over takeout lo mein, steam curling like plot twists. Countersuits bullshit. Her lawyers bluffing to scare settlement. But the blog? That's fresh ammo. Libelous. Targeted. We amend the complaint. Seek injunction to shut it down. In the school gig, I probe, chopsticks paused midair. Complain to the district, volunteer vetting. She's a litigant. Conflict of interest. Plus, that petition, it's at 200 SIGs. Push for the recall election. State law mandates if 20% of members petition. By dawn, emails flew. To the superintendent, CC&G board remnants. To the blog's host, DMCA takedown for defamatory content. The petition went viral on our /malicious compliance. Armchair lawyers dissecting her bylaws like autopsy reports. Donations swelled, $40,000 now, enough for Derek to bring in a PI. The PI's report landed a week later. Dossier thick as a phone book. Karen's Houston crash pad? A rented bungalow in a declining strip. Sister's name on the lease to shield assets. Medical records, redacted, but hints of mood disorder treatments, prescriptions for anxiety meds that'd make a horse mellow. And the kicker, voicemails to her ex-husband, slurred rants about ruining my legacy post-divorce, threats that danced on stalking sedge. Blackmail. Derek mused, scanning pages. Nah, leverage. Leak strategically, a non-tip to the blog's followers. Let her empowered enforcers see the real enforcer. I hesitated. This was crossing lines, personal, vicious. But then I remembered Jake's wide eyes at the cop lights, the unicorn deflating in the yard. Do it. The leak hit AHO, a watchdog forum first. Ex-CEO's unhinged voicemails. Is this your leader? Clips anonymized, voices distorted but unmistakable, her bellowing about burning it all down if crossed. Backlash erupted. Subscribers fled, blog comments a bonfire of what a psycho. And no wonder the board bounced her. Karen's counter came frantic, a presser outside the school, flanked by her lawyer, decrying cyberbullying and family privacy invasion. Cameras rolled as she dabbed crocodile tears. Narrative flip. Victim now, me the monster. This man has hounded me relentlessly, dragging my health into the mud. I only wanted order. Is that a crime? Soundbites sold. Sympathetic profiles in smaller rags. Fallen HO, a titan fights back. Her loyalists rallied, a counter-petition. Reinstate Karen, stability over anarchy. It garnered 30 SIGs, mostly her bridge club cronies. The controversy peaked at the recall election, held in the community center, folding chairs in rows, air thick with cheap coffee and grudges. I wasn't a member, but the petition let me observe, perched in back with Jake coloring beside me. Turnout was electric. 180 residents, murmurs rippling like wind through wheat. Karen took the podium first, transformed, pantsuit tailored miraculously, hair tamed, voice quivering with rehearsed pathos. Neighbors, friends, I've poured my soul into Willow Creek. Yes, mistakes were made, but for what? Your soaring property values, your safe streets. This recall, orchestrated by one bitter soul outside our gates, jealous of our success. Vote no for harmony. Applause, tepid but there. Then the opposition, Bev the treasurer, glasses perched like binoculars. Harmony? Try $120,000 missing. Karen's vision lined her pockets while finding yours. We've recovered half, but the damage? Irreparable. Vote yes for accountability. Questions flew. What about the cops' call? Embezzlement proof? Karen deflected, pivoting to me. That man lied about boundaries. I was protecting us all. Lies? The room gasped as I stood, uninvited, but Vargas had slipped me the my protecting. You terrorized a child's party. My deed's public. Your calls to 911? Recorded. Ask Officer Ramirez. He laughed it off. Murmurs swelled to roar. Ballots dropped. Tally took an hour, tension coiling like a spring. Final count. 142 yes, 38 no. Recall past. Karen's face crumpled. Not dramatic, but raw. Defeat etching lines deeper than Botox could fill. She fled the stage, shoulder-checking a chair, echoes chasing her out. Outside, rain lashed the lot, her figure shrinking toward a waiting lift. No entourage, just the downpour washing away her rain. But victory soured quick. Derek called next day. She's dropping counters, folding on the suit. Full payout, plus her blog shuttered. But she's countersuing the board now, claiming wrongful termination, dragging everyone through mud, you included, as instigator. Instigator. The word mocked as I watched Jake practice headers in the yard, ball thumping wet grass. Was this fighting back, or just endless trench war? Karen's bitter end wasn't death, but diminishment, stripped of power, isolated in Houston sprawl, legacy a cautionary tale on Zillow warnings, HOA drama, buyer beware. Yet her shadow lingered, a reminder. In America's manicure heartland, the Karens don't die. They just reload. I hugged Jake tighter that night, vowing no more dragons. But deep down, I knew suburbia's battles never truly end. Winter crept into Plano like an uninvited guest, nipping at the heels of fall's last bonfires. Leaves turned brittle underfoot, and the air carried that crisp bite that makes you crave chili and Friday night lights under the stadium bleachers. By Thanksgiving, the lawsuit dust had mostly settled. Karen's board countersuit fizzled when Bev produced ledgers proving the siphoning, forcing a mediated truce. She kept her Houston hovel, they kept the remaining funds, and everyone signed NDAs thicker than turkey gravy. My $250,000? Invested wisely. Half into Jake's college fund, the rest paying off the bungalow's mortgage. Freedom tasted like early retirement at 38, or at least the illusion of it. Derek threw a victory lap bash at his loft downtown, skyline twinkling beyond floor-to-ceiling glass, craft IPAs flowing freer than legal advice. To slaying the beast, he toasted, clinking bottles with a chorus of shop buddies and neighborhood allies. Raoul the mechanic regaled with tales of his own HOA skirmishes. Find me for a Weber Grill smoke violation once. I smoked a brisket on her porch in protest. Laughter boomed, cathartic, but I nursed my drink in the corner. Jake conked out on a beanbag with face paint from the day's parade still smeared. You good, man? Derek sidled up, eyebrow arched. Look like you're plotting World War III. I shrugged, staring at the city lights. Arteries of taillights pulsing like veins. Grateful, yeah. But it's like she left shrapnel. Every next-door alert, I flinch. Saw her profile pop up last week. New gig, HOA consultant in Sugarland. Already got a testimonial. Karen whipped our covenants into shape. He snorted. Consultant? That's code for professional pest. Let go, Ellis. You won. Winning. The word echoed hollow. I'd fought for justice, sure, exposed her grift, shielded the block from her boot. But the cost? Sleepless nights replaying her school hallway sneer, Jake's therapy sessions for stranger anxiety, post-cop show. And me? Harder shell, quicker temper at work when a customer nitpicked alignments. Suburbia was supposed to be sanctuary, not siege. The shrapnel struck home over Christmas break. Jake, hyped on eggnog and Netflix marathons, begged for a tree-trimming party, like the old days with Mom, but with lasers. I caved, inviting the crew, Patels, Thompsons, even Jenkins back from her new condo down south. String lights draped the eaves, no banners this time. Just wreaths and a fire pit crackling against the chill. Midway, through carols, Raoul belting a off-key Feliz Navidad, headlights swept the drive. Not friendly beams, but harsh, accusatory. Karen's Escalade, mud-splattered from Houston highways, idling like a threat. She emerged bundled in a parka 2 sizes too small, breath fogging as she clutched a manila envelope, face gone under street lamp glow, weight loss from stress, or just spite. The party froze. Carols died mid-note. Jake shrank behind me, mug of cocoa, trembling. Dad, it's okay, bud. Go inside with Mr. Patel. I stepped forward, firelight dancing shadows on her form. Karen, this a caroler's ambush? We're fresh out of bylaws. Her lips thinned, no smirk this time, just weary resolve, eyes hollowed like she'd aged a decade in months. Not here for drama, Ellis. Delivery, certified. From my attorney. She thrust the envelope, registered seal unbroken. Read it, then burn it for all I care. I tore it open under the porch bulb. Summons, countersuit amendment. Not against the board. Against me, personally. $1.2 million in damages for intentional infliction, conspiracy to defame, loss of reputation. Attachments, affidavits from her loyalists claiming I'd incited riots at the recall, doctored emails purporting I'd hacked her accounts. The kicker? A custody petition, her filing as community advocate to the family court, alleging my ongoing feuds made me environmentally unstable for Jake, recommending supervised visitation. Custody. The word detonated, world narrowing to red. This wasn't revenge, it was nuclear. She'd clawed into my core, weaponizing the system against the one pure thing left. You bitch, I growled, paper crumpling in my fist. Cops weren't enough? Now on my kid. What's next? CPS raid for tinsel overload. She didn't flinch, arms crossed over bulk. You started this war, outsider. Thought you'd break me? I built empires on worse. Your little crusade? It cost me everything, job, friends, health. Doctor says stress-induced hypertension. Could have stroked out. But I'll be damned if I let you waltz away unscathed. The partygoers murmured, Raoul cracking knuckles like dice. Jenkins whispered, called Derek, restraining order now. But I held ground, voice steel. Empires? You mean Ponzi schemes and power trips. Sue all you want. Courts see through tin pot tyrants. But Jake, touch that, and I'll bury you pro bono if I have to. Every voicemail, every fine, every cop log. Your reputation? Mud since day one. Rain started, fat drops hissing on coals. She sneered, rain streaking mascara. Bold word from a grease monkey playing hero. Merry Christmas, Ellis. Ho ho hell. She retreated to her SUV, engine roaring to life, taillights fading into the night like a bad omen. Inside, chaos. Jake sobbing in Patel's arms. Is she taking me away? I rocked him by the tree, lights twinkling mocking joy, while Derek conferenced in, voice crackling fury. This is desperate. Slap suit, pure harassment. We motioned to dismiss, sanctions against her. Custody? Laughable. No standing. But file emergency protective order. Keep her 500 yards from school home. The holidays blurred into legal frenzy. Christmas morn, instead of Legos, we reviewed exhibits. Her blog archives, subpoenaed text to board minions plotting character assassination on me. New Year's, Derek's team deposed her loyalists. One cracked, admitting she'd paid for fake reviews. By MLK Day, the judge, a grizzled vet named Harlan with no patience for drama, tossed the countersuit. Frivolous, malicious. $50,000 sanctions to Mr. Ellis. As for the child welfare nonsense, Ms. Hargrove, stick to bake sales. Courtroom electric, Karen in the gallery, fuming silent as the gavel cracked. Her lawyers stammered objections. Harlan's glare shut him down. Next time you file fairy tales, counsel, I'll hold you in contempt. Case dismissed with prejudice. She bolted post-ruling, heels clacking marble like gunfire. I caught her in the hall, not for gloat, but closure. It's over, Karen. Really over. Drop the hate, get help. For you. She wheeled, eyes wild, not defeated but feral. Help? From a man who ruined me? I was changing lives, standards, order. You? Just a squatter stirring shit for clicks. Spittle flecked her lip. A bailiff hovered. This is an end. I'll appeal, blog, scream from rooftops. Willow Creek will remember who fought for them. Or who fought them. I countered soft. Your move, CEO. But life's too short for grudges. She laughed bitter, echoing off tiles. Says the victor. Enjoy your Pyrrhic peace. Gone. Elevator dinging her descent. Peace. Elusive. The sanctions check cleared, but therapy bills mounted. Jake's drawings now featured armored dads battling shadow monsters. Work suffered. I snapped at a client over a misaligned tire, earning HR side-eye. Neighbors rallied. Meal trains, playdates, but pity stung worse than her barbs. Spring thawed the chill, dogwoods blooming defiant. The PI tailed her to Sugar Land gigs. Smaller HOAs, wary boards, her pitch laced with lessons learned spin. One meeting leaked audio. I turned Willow Creek around until saboteurs struck. Let me armor yours. Armor. The word haunted as I prepped for Jake's spring concert. Violin screeching scales in the living room. Derek's final bill? Waived, pro bono for brothers in arms. But the scar tissue? Permanent. Then, the twist that bittered it all. A letter, handwritten, postmarked Houston. No return address, but her looping script unmistakable. Ellis, you win. Appeal dropped. Consulting folded. Doctor says heart can't take it. Pacemaker next month. Kids won't visit. Sister's done. Legacy? Toilet paper in Zillow footnotes. Hate you? Yes. But mostly hate the mirror. Thought control fixed chaos. Turns out it bred it. Your unicorn? Jake's smile in that patch photo. First real magic I'd seen in years. Buried it under rules. Don't gloat. Just tell Jake sorry. From a dragon who learned to fly away. Cage. I burned it in the fire pit that night. Ashes swirling skyward like absolution denied. Sorry? Too late for sorries. She cracked us, even in defeat. Her chaos a virus, mutating grudges into ghosts. Summer returned. Unicorns reinflated for Jake's ninth. No sirens, just laughter echoing Elmwood. But at night, bourbon in hand, I wonder, did I fight back or it just become her? Suburbia's wars end not with bangs, but whimpers, bitter, echoing. July 4th dawned sticky hot. The kind of Plano scorcher where AC units groan like overworked mules and backyard grills sizzle with patriotic fervor. Fireworks stands popped up on every corner. Hawkers and stars and stripes bandanas peddling Roman candles and bottle rockets to dads chasing nostalgia. Jake and I loaded up, sparklers for him, a six-pack of Shinerbach for me. Dreaming of a low-key cul-de-sac show. No Karen cameos, just neighbors in lawn chairs, flags snapping in the breeze. The block had transformed since her fall. Willow Creek's new board, Bev at the helm, all cardigans and consensus. Slash dues, axe the drone patrols, even greenlit creative expressions like mural mailboxes. Petitions morphed into block parties. Next door shifted from snitch fest to swap meets. Me? The bungalow sported fresh paint, sage green, HOA neutral but mine, and Jake's room overflowed with drone kits, his latest obsession after a STEM camp scholarship funded by the GoFundMe windfall. Yet Victory's afterglow faded fast. Derek's wedding loomed, tying the knot to his firm partner in a vineyard up near Waco, and he roped me as best man, toasting his escape from bachelor purgatory. To fewer depositions, more honeymoons, I quipped at the rehearsal, but my grin strained. Shrapnel again. A client at the shop, some Willow Creek holdout, griped about that Ellis guys which haunt ruining our security. Whispers followed, hero to some, agitator to others. Jake sensed it, kid radar pinging. Dad, you sad? Like when Mom left. I ruffled his mop, deflecting. Nahum spool. Fool. Just grown-up fireworks. Race you to the ice cream truck. Distractions worked till they didn't. Mid-parade, floats crawling Main Street. Majorettes twirling batons under bunting. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, Houston area code. Voicemail pinged later. Voice raspy, medicated. Karen. Ellis. It's me. Not suing, promise. Just check the news. Sugar Land Sentinel. My last stand. Tell Derek thanks for the mercy. Thanks? Dread coiled as I ducked into a diner. Wi-Fi flickering, pulling up the site. Headline screamed. HOA consultant Karen Hargrove dead at 52. Apparent overdose amid legal woes. Details trickled. Found in her rental, empty pill bottles. The anxiety meds mixed with bourbon. No note, but browser history heavy on her defunct blog. Drafts titled Confessions of a Cul-de-sac Queen. Coroner ruled accidental, but whispers of intent swirled. The pacemaker install botched by stress. Debts mounting from sanctions. Isolation absolute. Dead. The word landed like a dud firecracker. No boom, just smoke. I scrolled obits. Beloved mother, visionary leader. No services listed. Family estranged. Alone comment. She tried to make things better. Rest in power. Power. Her poison pill, swallowed whole. Guilt nod. My leak the catalyst? Or just the straw on her fractured back? I called Derek from the diner booth. Formica's sticky under elbows. You see? Yeah, he sighed. Reception crackling from the vineyard. PI confirmed. She tanked after the judge's smackdown. Blog drafts. Brutal. Blamed you me, the board, her ex. But lines about regret, too. Pushed too hard, broke myself. Tragic, man. Bitter end, all right. Bitter. The theme of her swan song, echoing in my gut. I drove home numb. Parade horns fading. Jake waving a sparkler in the dusk. Dad, look, stars exploding. Exploding. Yeah, we lit off the rockets in the yard, booms rattling windows. But my mind replayed her letter's ashes, her school's coup, the cops' lights. Revenge's arc, hook, line, sinker, but the fish? Already gutted. Fallout rippled subtle. Next door eulogies popped. Complicated woman, but fought for standards. Her loyalists scattered, the counter-petition shredded. Bev sent a card. Her passing closes the chapter. Thanks for the push toward light. Light. Ironic from the dragon's den. Jake's questions came gentle. The mean lady. Gone? Like forever. I nodded, tucking him in under comet posters. Boo. Sometimes people fight too hard, lose their way. But we keep flying our flag, right? Unicorns and all. He yawned, clutching a stuffed knight. Knights win, Dad. Even if dragons say, sorry, too late. Too late. The epitaph for us all. I poured a final bourbon that night, toasting the dark. To Karen, flawed fury. To battles won, scars born. To suburbia's fragile peace, ever vigilant. Years blurred after. Jake hit teens, braces glinting at football games. Me in the stands cheering with Raul's crew. The bungalow sold when he flew to UT Austin, engineering dreams in tow. I downsized to a condo in Frisco, no fences to fight. Derek made partner, naming a mock Ellis clause for anti-slap wins. Karen? Footnote in HOA lore, cautionary TED Talk fodder, when enforcement becomes entrapment. Her blog drafts surfaced in a podcaster's book, raw, raging, repentant. I skimmed once, heart heavy. Admissions of loneliness fueling control, divorce scars driving the claw. Bitter end? Hers, yes, pills and isolation. But mine? Sweeter in retrospect, tempered by time. The cops' call? Spark that lit reform, state bills capping HOA powers. My fight? Catalyst, not curse. Now, retired early on shop equity, I volunteer at Jake's old school. Reading to kindergartners, no clipboards in sight. Spot a budding Karen in a kid's scowl, I intervene gentle. Rules are guides, not chains. Make magic, not mandates. Suburbia endures, pickets white, grudges gray. But in my rear view, the unicorn floats eternal, a reminder. Fight back smart, forgive if you can. Or at least, don't let the dragons define you. And on quiet nights, bourbon warm in hand, I whisper to shadows, rest, Karen. Chaos conquered.